Hey from Ireland. Hey from Ireland. Pressure washing before walking 9 holes. Hey, sister.
Hi, Trill. How are ya?
I'm so glad. Look at you. Oh my God, you're a babe. Look at you. Is this like your normal quarantine look?
No, honestly, I have been getting a lot better. I don't know why. It's like I'm not even going anywhere, but I've been really experimenting with eyeshadow lately.
Yeah. This is great. Where do you know? Is this so? When I lived in Miami,
Mm-hmm.
so I taught at Jim McLean Golf School
Yeah.
and Doral, and Miami has some fun stuff at night, right? So my roommate Renee, and she's also a golf instructor. So we'd have this code system like 1 through 10. 10 would be, New Year's outfit. One
Oh,
would be you're hanging out and gardening in the backyard. So
okay.
if we're gonna go out, it's like, okay, what is it? A 6.5 tonight, or is it an
Oh,
8?
that's nice. I
So
love that. That's
right.
great. Because I can totally relate. Living in New York, you definitely have to, as is Miami, like you can't be on different levels with your friends. Like if someone shows up in jeans and sneakers and the other girl's got on heels, it can
And
cause
she's
all sorts of problems.
that
Yeah.
brings me to another thing. So heels automatically raised it a point.
Oh,
So
yeah,
so
I
if
could
you're
see
like
that.
if you're a 5 with some cute jeans and a white shirt and you put on heels, it's a 6.
Oh, okay. All right. That's good to know. So you can go up another level quickly
Yeah.
with just changing the
So I
shoes.
think
Got it.
your eyeshadow would add a point to it.
Oh, okay. Okay. Cool. 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 All right.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, your quarantine look. So what
My
are you doing
quarantine
and where
outfit.
are you?
So I'm currently in my parents' guest bedroom in Sarasota, Florida. I actually came down to about a month ago now for the players, and I had 4 days of clothes with me, and I never went back to New York because it was just so crazy. So yeah, so I've been in my parents' guest bedroom for
Yeah.
the last however many weeks. I mean, I've gone out to the kitchen a few times, obviously, and yeah, but it's obviously it's a lot better place to be than stuck in my little apartment in New
Yeah.
York.
In
So
New York.
happy to be here for sure, as opposed to New York.
Yeah, I'm sure you still have some friends that are in New York and giving
Me
you the
too.
lowdown of what that's like.
Yeah,
Any
yeah.
stories from the front line?
Yeah, it's been I mean they don't go out much, but they go to the grocery store and do whatever. But I've seen a few of them, like my colleague, good friend Nicole Ray, who's our Golf Digest social media manager. She's been taking some videos at 7 p.m. Like the entire city of New York claps for all of the healthcare workers. So
Mm.
she's taken some really really cool videos of that, which has been great to see. But I know it's crazy. I'm really hoping that, things like the curve starts to flatten soon. I have to go back in June at least because I'm gonna move apartments. So
Oh, you
I'm
are.
like, okay, yeah. So
Yeah.
need to figure something out there.
So give me the lowdown. What's your official job title and what does your job entail?
Yeah, so I work at Golf Digest. I am a senior producer of digital content, and that is kind of my job has really evolved a lot over the last, well, months really. So Golf Digest we were bought by Discovery,
Right.
and we sort of merged with Golf TV, which has been so great. It's funny, my boss, Stina Sternberg, who is VP of content. I love her. I consider her like the original, like OG badass golf businesswoman, before like she sort of spearheaded that. And so I look up to her
Right.
so much. And she was
And
always like a mentor.
she was at
Sorry?
Golf for Women when that was in,
She was,
right?
yeah, yeah. So she was at Golf for Women, and then which was actually like part like associated with Golf Digest, and then she sort of was on the Golf Digest like marketing, sales, doing all that, and then she left and to work at Golf TV, and now it's like sort of full circle that she's my boss now, which is bizarre. But yeah, so
Love that.
I work on a lot of mostly social media related stuff, but like a lot of digital content stuff. We have such an amazing team of people there. And so, you know,
Yeah.
it's so much fun to work with everybody.
What's Golf TV's, how's Golf TV fit into the Discovery family or Golf Digest family? Like,
Yeah, so that is a great question. So Golf TV, what Golf TV is, it's like a streaming service, really. You think of like an NFL network, but for golf specifically. But the thing about Golf TV is that it's purely international, so you can't access it in the States. So so they own all the rights to golf in like 220 countries. So where we come in, so they are like primarily like they have to be. They're primarily international business, whereas like Golf Digest is also an international business, but I would say that I don't know, the majority of our business is in the States. So very different business models. Obviously, we were a print magazine, sort of turned website, and still a print magazine, but now the website I would say is, you know, I don't know what the percentage is, but we have two huge teams on both sides. So that's one business, and then they're a streaming service. So two very different businesses, but they're partners with the PGA Tour. And then sort of when we joined with them, we were always partners with the PGA Tour, but now we're like really partners with the PGA Tour, which has been great because, you know, we now have this formal partnership with Tiger and get like incredible access to him at every event. And
so that's Golf TV has the access, or is that Discovery?
So golf, when we came along, Golf Digest and Golf TV formed Discovery Golf. So now it's with both of us essentially.
Right.
So yeah.
I didn't realize that there was that exclusive with Tiger or whatever, that access, special access to
Tiger. Yeah. It's crazy. It really
is really cool.
Yeah.
So print has gone from being the leading delivery mechanism to, I don't know, like a backup.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. I wouldn't necessarily it's a backup, but it's just I feel like the world is so quick. You know, people are so used to getting their news. I was talking to my dad the other day because he has shown really no interest in social. I mean, occasionally.
David Leadbetter, if you don't know.
Like social media is like by far his like not his thing, but it's funny because he's been like during this quarantine period doing all these Instagram lives, and like he'll be in his office and he'll be like, Hally, like he's like, I have an Instagram live tomorrow at like 9:30. Can you help me? And I'm like, yeah, I'll help you.
At 9:30, I'll help you.
Yeah. And so it'll be like 9 o'clock and he's like, Hally, come on. I'm like, Dad, I promise you at 9:29, we're going to go in there. We're going to sit down and we're going to press the button and you're just going to go.
Right.
Like,
it's going to be okay.
Yeah, it's going to be fine. So it's funny though, because I was talking to him about like, I think there was like some Twitter thing that like a little scuffle, as these things do, that happened on Twitter a few weeks ago. And it was funny because he was telling me how like back in the day, if you were to like argue with like, let's say another golf instructor, right, and like write a column for like Golf Digest, you'd have to wait a month to like reply to that person, you know, in a public forum. Whereas like now it's like bing, bam, bomb. So like things just happen so quickly, which is like, so I think our print magazine serves a purpose. It's obviously where we came from. It's been around for 70 years. And a lot of that content is then put onto our website. But you know, like the day-to-day golf news, like things just happen so quickly. That's what goes on our website. So, and our socials and all that kind of stuff. So.
Right. Gosh, you have me thinking about so many things. And, you know, back to your dad, and I totally want to get into what it was like growing up as David Leadbetter, because that's incredible and he's a legend. And I can't even imagine how to unpack that. But so back to the idea that it takes a long time to kind of have an exchange in this day and age. And if we're, you know, if the audience right now are golf instructors or coaches or sort of or at least, you know, highly active players that kind of can imagine what it's like in the coaching business. You know, now you can just create your own Facebook group. You can just get all of your own like-minded people in there, and you can kind of like fluff up I mean, this is not just with golf, it's with every industry, and it's also with news. I mean, hello, now we see what's happening, how everything starts to become very factionized and polarized. And, you know, I don't, I mean, at worst it would be echo chamber. At best, it's just, there's a lot of access.
So much access and so much opportunity, but to your point, it's like with, you know, social media and just like the internet in general, it's like, yes, it's great that everyone has a voice, but it's also not so great that everyone has a voice, because everybody could just say random stuff, you know. Like, obviously, Trill, you're a wonderful, wonderful instructor, and you utilize social media to sort of, you know, to give people helpful tips and whatnot, but like,
Thanks.
I don't know, Joe Schmo from wherever could say that, like, this is a great tip, and you could be like, that's the worst tip I've ever seen in my life. You know, but like, he has a platform to put it out.
Totally. And you know, I'm not God's gift or anything, obviously, but I mean, one of the reasons I wanted to get in was because I felt compelled to put information out there that's not going to hurt anybody. You know, like, it's mine's sort of, I feel like it's vitamin C. So
yeah,
you can't,
totally.
You can't get hurt. It's only good.
Only good, for sure.
I try to help.
I know, and you do. I love your social. Your tips are great.
Thank you. I love your social, which is one of the reasons why you're here, because you're so freaking funny.
Thank you.
And you've just been I'm just gonna sort of compliment you for a little bit, so it's gonna get awkward. But you've been so good at just kind of, first of all, just being on the beat of stuff. Like, you're there, but you're also pushing the envelope just a little bit. Like, you're doing, like, what are those things with the thought bubble?
Oh, the filters. Yeah, that was funny. Those are really funny. Yeah, you know, honestly, I follow a lot of like comedians on social media, and so I just like look at kind of what they do and try to draw inspiration from them. And I spend a lot of time on TikTok, so I look there too. So yeah, I just try to, like you said, like, keep it fun. And I always just try to think like, okay, would I find this entertaining and funny? And if it's a no, then I like normally don't post it. Or also, like, I'm very lucky, like, going back to like my team at Golf Digest, like, even when it comes to Golf Digest content, like, I'll think something's great and then I'll like talk it through and they're like, no. I'm like, okay. Thanks.
Right.
You know, but you have to be willing to kind of go there. And then if it's not good, it's not good. But
if it's not good, it's not good. But also, in this day and age, it's like, it's coming in and out with the tide so fast, and the tide's like, you know, every single day. Okay. It's new.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. It's, yeah. You gotta be. Yeah, I think you have to be like actively thinking about things to put out on social, because like you said, it's moving very, very quickly. For sure.
What advice would you have for someone who's just getting into social, whether they're an amateur or in a golf pro? Do you have any
that's a good question?
Like, I know I just
you. Yeah, but no, I would say,
and I'll just say a couple things first of why I think you do a really good job of finding that line where it's relevant, and it's still, you still kind of weave golf in, like, whether you're at a golf tournament doing something silly, but it's at a golf tournament, you know, or, but not too, like, you could easily get serious. I mean, you are really, really bright, and you've got an incredible background. You could easily be super serious and like get to business if you wanted to. And I think you do sometimes, but you also, like, you show your humor. So how do you do that? Like, you know, how there's people that just
funny, like, somebody actually the other day, this power of social media, and I did the same thing. But I would also say that when I was trying to, like, and I'm like actively networking, but when I was first like trying to get in the business, I was like very active on LinkedIn. But this girl messaged me and was like, how do you I don't think she's a golfer. I think it was like sports broadcasting she was asking about, but she was just asking, like, how do you sort of like be silly but then also be taken seriously? And I was like, well, I think that I struggle with that now, but like, you know, like, I honestly, I remember when I left Golf Digest and I went to go work for the PGA Tour, and I posted this video. I used to do these things where I'd pretend like I was a lifestyle blogger, and I would post like pretend thing, like tips or whatever. And I remember I put a face mask, like a DIY face mask, and I put pieces of ham all over my face. and I said that it was like, I pretended that it was like, oh, like the serum from the ham will like take out your circles from your like under your eyes or whatever. And I remember Jerry Tardy, the editor in chief, like liked it, and I was like, oh my god, I was like, I am never ever ever gonna be asked to come back to Golf Digest ever again, like it's so embarrassing. But like, I'm back, I work at Golf Digest again, so like, I think, but it's funny because like, I know Jerry Tardy, who's the editor-in-chief of Golf Digest, like follows me on social. I know that he sees everything that I post, but like, then I'll be in a meeting with him and like 5 other men, and like, I'll have like, we're not laughing, like this is a pretty serious conversation, you know? Yeah. So I think ultimately it comes down to like, just like, you don't, it's like, as long as like, when you know to be, there's a time and a place for things, you know, like I sometimes like, I do want to crack jokes in meetings, but I know it's not appropriate. So I like right. Keep my mouth shut. But I think it's just,
I can only imagine if I were in the room on the other side, I'd like look at you and be doing
yeah, and there's you know, like, yeah, I'll like crack. I mean, you got to keep things light and fun, you know. I mean, also we work in the golf industry. We're not out there trying to cure coronavirus, so we're very lucky, you know. But like, there is a time and a place for everything. So I would say like, my advice for people in general on social is like, just to be true to yourself. Actually, I was talking to my neighbor here, actually is a dentist, and she is like super fun and has like this, like a fairly large social following for a dentist, but she's like, really, it's just amazing. And she also, like, we were talking about the same thing. She's like, sometimes I feel that like my patients aren't going to trust me because like I'm like silly on social media, but that's also what has gotten her a lot of business, is her personal brand on social media, you know? Right. So I think you just have to stay sort of like true to who you are, and like the right opportunities are going to come to you. Like for me, I'm like, if somebody doesn't want to work with me because they think I'm too silly, well, then I probably wouldn't have any fun working with them anyway. So, you know.
Right. But I think, like you said, and I know you also have a very, you know, you have a very serious intellectual side that you can easily just turn on when you need to, when you know it's appropriate. And so, yeah, that's great.
Yeah, totally. And yeah, I mean, like, I prefer to do the more like fun, silly stuff, but like, yeah, I think you have to, some things are serious, and you know, like, deserve more of that treatment. So it's just kind of realizing when it's okay to be silly, and when you know, your message might get through better if you take on a more serious tone. So.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So someone just asked in the thing, what do you think about the LPGA PGA Tour schedule, if you think it's gonna be realistic?
Oh, that's a great question. No,
I don't think it's
realistic. I don't think it's realistic. I mean, I saw Jay Monahan said something the other day that like, even for what's the tournament in Detroit, the Quicken Loan, Rocket Mortgage, I think, he said for like something about like, in order to have that first tournament back, that there would have to be widespread testing. So I feel like the schedule they put out is a very like, in a perfect world, this is kind of when we'll get back to things. But I just don't see how that's possible. Like, there's not widespread testing for anybody. What are they going to do widespread testing for a bunch of golfers? You know? So I don't know. I really, really hope so. Because, you know, I feel like it's been a great like creativity exercise to sort of like come up with things that we're going to talk about week in and week out, and like really go way back in the archives and do these debates and this and that. But it would be great to have some new material.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, exactly. I mean, and we could get into the really serious, terrible repercussions of all these contracts that can't be fulfilled, and all of these businesses that were relying on it, and all this other stuff. There's just, you know, all the peripherals that go around with it not happening. So I mean, I guess we're all crossing our fingers that it.
Yeah, no, we really are. Yeah.
So, sure. Okay, let's just shift gears now. I want to talk about, I want to hear about what it was like growing up the daughter of David Leadbetter.
Oh, that's a great question. So it's funny because a lot of people, I think when I was growing up, people would say like, oh, is it like really cool to have your dad as David Leadbetter? And I was like, oh yeah, compared to like all my other dads, it's so great. You know, like, you know, like, I don't know what it's like to have another dad. Like, that is the only dad that I've ever had. So yeah, but I think when I was younger, like in terms of like when I was like playing golf, it was I had to get over it pretty fast because like if I played well, it was like, oh, of course you play well, and if you don't play well, it's
Right.
like, what the hell's wrong
And
with you?
right. So wait, let's even go back further than that. How did you even
Yeah.
get interested? I mean, because there's a good
So,
chance that you wouldn't even play golf at all.
oh my God, I hated golf when I was
Like
little. Yeah.
big shoes to fill. Because your mother was a pro, right? A tour pro.
Yeah, my mom played on the LPGA, so very, very good player as well. And that's when my parents met. My mom went to go get lessons with my dad, so that
Is
was
she
not very
lefty?
professional.
Because you're a
Sorry.
lefty. Is she lefty?
Yes, I'm a lefty, and my little brother is a lefty, and my dad's mom was a lefty, but we're the only two lefties in the immediate family. So
Okay.
yeah, so I have a little brother and an older brother. They both played golf at a very high level. And when I was younger, I was really into horses. I just did like competitive horseback riding, wanted absolutely nothing to do with golf. I thought it was the most boring thing in the world. And then when I was about 12 or 13 was when I was kind of like, huh, like my brothers are playing all the time and like my parents play all the time. And I feel like I'm kind of left out of the conversations at dinner. Like maybe I should give it a go. So I started, practicing a little bit more. I remember I went to like a junior clinic with Annika. And yeah, I kind of slowly but surely put the horseback riding aside and started focusing more on golf. And then when I was in, I'd say ninth grade, when I was like, okay, I think I need to get, like, I really want to play college at least.
Was
Like, I
this
want
in Sarasota? Did you grow up in Sarasota?
this was in Orlando at the time.
Okay.
So this was in Orlando. And then when I decided that I wanted to play in college, I was like, well, I am nowhere near good enough to play in college. So I really need to like, I have 3 years to earn a scholarship. So I need to get a lot better. So I ended up going to a school called IMG Academy down where I currently am now in like Sarasota, Bradenton area. And that was when I really started like working really, really hard. IMG is I don't know if you're not familiar with it. It's like a sports academy. Paula Kramer went there for golf. CT Pan is on the tour now. Peter Uline, Ben On. So I went to school there and I got good enough to go to college. And yeah, so that was, but yeah, when I was younger, I was like, absolutely not, get me away.
And were your mom and dad involved with you? I mean, there may be some parents also watching.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
how?
So I think when I was younger, like there was always I always had a set of clubs, but I did not enjoy it and they never forced me to play. So I think that was really good because I think if they would have like pushed me, I would have gone the opposite direction. So the clubs are always just there and they're like,
Right.
we want you just to, have fun, be happy. If golf isn't what makes you happy, then don't
Right.
do it. And for a long time it was not. So I was like,
Right.
no. And then ultimately I kind of came around to it by myself. And then
So
I decided,
that was like 13 years old. You just,
yeah. That was about 13. Yeah. 12, 13, 14 was when I was like, oh, okay. Like here, let me give this a go.
so you hadn't played in any junior tournaments prior to that.
No. No, not really. I played like a little like 9 hole things that I like absolutely hated my life playing in.
Right.
But like even I was about 11, 12 was when I did not play anything like younger than that. No.
Right. I
Mhm.
see. That's interesting. I mean, there's a lot of kids. I mean, there's a lot of kids out there that are like, oh, you got to start playing in tournaments young, 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 young. But so you ended up playing in college because of,
Yeah.
you went to Rollins. Where did you
So
go?
so I actually went to University of Arkansas for 2 years. I
Uh-huh.
played there, which was an awesome experience. And then I transferred to Rollins College, which is in Orlando, which is where I'm originally from. So it was an awesome 2 years at Arkansas. It's so funny because, I feel like most people, when they transfer, it's like because, like it just, like it was like a bad decision, but it
Yeah.
wasn't. Hi, Alex.
Hi,
Me, for me, it definitely was not the wrong decision at the time. Like, I'm really glad I went to Arkansas. I got so much better at golf being there, and I really learned how to practice. And I had some amazing coaches, but ultimately, like the school itself really wasn't for me. So I transferred to Rollins, and it was the most difficult decision I ever made, but it was awesome, and loved my coach there as well and my team. And then
Yes.
we ended up, it's a D2 school,
Yeah.
but we were pretty good. We won a national championship my senior year, so that was
Yeah,
kind of like
girl.
a good way. Yeah, that was a really good way to finish. So it was
Okay, so
awesome.
I'm gonna time out. You said I learned how to
Yeah,
practice. You know, this is the
yeah,
domain that I have so much. I've put so much thought and work into just skill
yeah.
acquisition, how people spend their time when they're not playing, how they prepare, how they get better at performance.
Mm-hmm.
And so I want to hear just a couple of examples of what did that mean for you when you said I learned how to practice?
Yeah, so my coach at Arkansas, Shauna Estes Taylor, she is amazing, and the assistant coach Mike Adams. We had very, very structured practices. Like when we
Mike
came,
Adams, as in Mike Adams.
different Mike Adams,
Yeah.
different Mike Adams. But what was really cool, though, a side note about Mike and Shauna, was that Shauna played at Georgia. She was an All-American. And then she was going to turn pro. She may have even turned pro, but she got horrible rheumatoid arthritis and had like a double hip replacement and all this stuff, and just could not compete anymore, but incredible player. And Mike was actually her swing coach all throughout college. So they were sort of this dynamic duo that came to Arkansas together.
Right.
And we were just incredibly structured with our practices. You know, it would be like we would have a lot of different stations, and in order to like move to the next station, you had to complete things. So I mean, I would be out there sometimes, you know, you'd be there for 2 hours, 2.5 hours, and you're like, okay, finish the practice, gonna go do my homework or whatever. Sometimes I would be there until it was like dark, you know. It was a lot of like pressure drills. I mean, there were times we'd work on our swings, but we'd do like drills where we have to like, we had a great range with like all different kind of targets, and like you could hit from different angles on the range. So we'd have like ball above our feet, and we had to hit the green that was like 160 yards away, like 3 times in a row, or there'd be like a fake fairway, or like one here and one here. And we had to like hit this fairway, hit this fairway, hit this fairway before we could move on to the next station. So it was a lot of like simulating golf, not just
Games.
like beating balls on the range. Yeah.
Right. Skills and games and putting
Exactly.
it in, I call it scrimmaging. You know,
Yeah.
if you play other sports, you obviously have to learn those skills, but then the second half of practice, you're actually scrimmaging, maybe 3-on-3, 2-on-3, full field scrimmage. You know, you're
totally
simulating what you're going to do.
Totally. And I think that like golf, it might just be harder to get in that mindset sometimes, because you look at like, I mean, the majority of other sports, tennis, swimming, basketball, or whatever, like generally you practice on the court, in the pool, right, whatever that you're playing in, that you're competing in. Whereas like golf, you have to like consciously get into that golf mindset when you're practicing, or else you're just going to practice hitting balls. And like, that's cool if you want to be good at hitting balls, but if you want to be good at golf, you need to practice golf.
Yeah, totally.
So,
so then, all right. So far what I'm picking up is your parents were odd, you know, they were definitely aware. They were there. They set the environment up. They didn't push you. They gave you every opportunity to do what you needed to do, i.e., you know, you went to IMG, you had an incredible experience and access to an environment that was really going to, you know, work with your skills. And then you ended up in college. So, but there had to have been some kind of awakening where you're like, yeah, my dad works with Ernie Els. Like, you know, it's my dad's, you know.
Yeah. I think like when I was younger, I think when I was in, would have been high school. Yeah. When I went to IMG, like it was like when I worked with I didn't really like work with I worked with my dad, but not really. I had a coach that I worked with at IMG, but I think a lot of times like my dad would just tell him what to say, and then he would relay it. But ultimately, like I didn't really like to work with my dad, because I just, you know, to me, he was my dad. So I'd be like, what do you know? And it wasn't until I was in college that I was able to like sort of separate dad and coach and be like, okay, like currently this is my golf instructor and I need to listen to him. Whereas like now he's my dad and now I'll just, you know, be an annoying kid. So I think though, but it was kind of more in college where I was like, oh no, this person is like really legit and understands what he's talking about. So I really should listen. But yeah, no, but when I think like growing up, I remember.
Any stories?
You know, it's funny. One of the first memories that I ever have of like watching my dad coach was like on the range at Lake Nona, which is where we grew up in Orlando. And my dad was teaching, I think, Nick Faldo on the back of the range. And I was sitting there watching him teach. And I asked Nick Faldo, which Nick are you? Because I meant like, are you Nick Price or Nick Faldo? And he was like, oh, I'm Nick Faldo.
Did he have a sense of humor about it?
Yeah, I don't remember. I honestly just remember sitting on the ground and then being like, "Are you Nikki Price or Nick Faldo?" But yeah, no, I remember. I watched him teach a lot at Lake Nona, and I watched him teach a lot at Champions Gate, and it's funny like now because I'll see Justin Rose out on the road a lot when I'm with the PGA Tour, and like it's so weird. I mean, Justin Rose, Charles Howell, like these people were over at my house for Thanksgiving, you know, when I was like 9, 10, 11, and now I'm like, what's up? Can I ask you a question for Golf Digest? Yeah, so it's funny.
What else do you think? Like your dad obviously has his own stories too, but like from your perspective, what do you think his big genius was and is?
You know what's funny? I still like even the other day. So I was trying to we're coming up with some things that we could do on like Golf Digest social in this time, and like one of them was I asked my dad if he wouldn't mind doing like a basically what we did was like tweeted him out saying like, hey guys, David Ledbetter here, like send in your swings and I'm going to take a look at them. So we sent that out. We got like 600 something swings. And like, obviously he can't look at all those swings. Like it would take him months to do that. But like
someone wrote passion, by the way. I like that. Someone wrote passion.
No, I mean, that's so true. Like people, like I always say, like, I hope this for everybody that like they can find something that they love as much as David Ledbetter loves golf instruction, because I've never seen anything like it. So like, but so we were in there and I'm pointing there in his office over there. And he, we look at these golf swings and I'm like, Dad, I need like, just keep it under 2 minutes. Okay. Like look at this person's golf swing, keep it under 2 minutes. Like, whatever you have to say. And it like, honestly, cause I always wonder, cause my brothers now, both of my older brother, my younger brother are now, golf instructors, and like I didn't get the gene. I don't know if it's like a male gene in our family, but like
it's not a male gene.
Well, no, it may be in my family, no, because you got it, Trill. But I'm like, I don't know what the hell that is. I don't know what to tell you, buddy. Sorry, but like my dad, like he can look at something or look at somebody's swing, like some random person that I put on his iPad, and he'll look at it for like 45 seconds, watch it, draw his lines or whatever, and then I'll go, okay. And then he'll just stand in front of the camera and he'll be like, hey there, Bill, like, hope you're doing well. Love that red shirt of yours. So what I'm seeing here is this, this, and this. And under, like, you know, and here's a good drill for that. And he can wrap it up. And, like, it'll be, like, 1 minute and 48 seconds. Boom, boom, boom. And we knocked out, like, and I was just like, oh, my God. Like, first of all, how do you like look at something and like diagnose the problem, especially if there are multiple problems? Like, how do you know which one's going to help the most? Like, you don't know this person. And then 2, you like package that all up in your brain, and then you like deliver it to camera with no mistakes whatsoever in under 2 minutes. It's just like it's like incredible, you know. It's just, I mean, and you're great on camera, Tro, but like I've worked a few times with some instructors for Golf Digest, and I didn't really realize that like, well, I've never attempted to teach, like I've never given golf instruction tips or anything like that, but like that's a skill. Like I've seen some instructors that have like, and I don't know, maybe you can answer this, but was it always easy for you to sort of do instruction on camera, or has it gotten easier for you?
I think it's 100% a skill. 100%. I was not born with this. And I actually do remember Jim McLean. I watched him give some tips on I think whatever, maybe a golf channel was down. And the thing about Durrell is there are planes that come in later in the afternoon that fly really low and they're loud. And so if a plane comes in, you have to stop. And right about 2:00, all these transatlantic jets start coming in. And so you have to like literally, you have to plan it. You see one and you're like, okay, quick, we've got 1 minute before we have to. He would nail stuff. And I remember distinctly thinking, wow, like, okay, not only was it good information, but it was also timed right, and the intonations were right, and the tone was right. I think it is, and just the same thing you're talking about with your dad. I think it's just time doing it, doing it, and doing it, and
Yeah.
doing it.
Yeah. No,
But it
totally.
starts with knowing your stuff.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
you have to know what you're talking about
Mm-hmm.
first, and
Yeah.
then you kind of put it together in a way that's going to be accessible and digestible to
Yeah.
everybody else. And then you have to edit in your mind what are the important parts, and how can I get that out, you know, clearly and probably quickly, so that I don't lose my audience.
Yeah.
I thought about it
Yeah.
a lot.
No,
I've
for
done
sure.
it a lot. Hallie, I think it's just doing it. Just gotta
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah. No, for sure. Yeah, I think so, for sure. For sure. Yeah. So, I
And
mean,
that kind of goes to anything, I guess, any kind of skill. Any skill, right? Any skill. So in fact, I'm at home now. I love cooking, but I
mm-hmm.
also love entertaining. So I felt like if I entertain a lot, I'm just going to do it a lot. I'm going to get much better at timing when things come out of the oven. I'm going to get better at making my craft cocktails in time. I'm going to know kind of where things are. I'm going to be able to, and then I'm going to like, there's this economy of effort, right? So once you start to know it and you don't have to think about it consciously as much, then everything kind of settles down. You don't spin your wheels. You don't relax. You don't get so tense. You're more relaxed. And
Yeah.
then you get better. And then it's like, so at this point, my friend's like, you're really good at entertaining. It's like, I worked on it.
Yeah.
I just did
Yeah.
it a lot.
It's just like golf. It's just like playing golf. You know, it's like you got to work on the swing and your mechanics, but then once you got that and that's sort of in the back of your brain, now you can really start playing.
Yeah, totally. So, okay, now back to your swing now. At this point,
Mm-hmm.
are you playing for work at all?
You know, I usually play like a pretty good amount in the summers. But I have not played in a while, and it stinks
Yeah.
because my clubs, the courses here are open, but my clubs are still in my apartment in New York. So I don't have any clubs here, which is such a bummer. But actually, I was talking about this the other day. I did turn pro for a little bit after college, so I'm technically a pro. But I mean, to get my amateur status back, it would be like take me 2 seconds. So I'm going to, because I really, really do miss competing, and I'd love to play in the mid am, yeah, and the four ball. So
Good.
yeah, I'm definitely going to. I'm definitely going to, for sure. Yeah.
Fun. You know, we're having the women's am at Woodmont. Oh, it's still on in August.
Oh, that'll be awesome.
Yeah.
That'll be great.
I was
Do you
just
get to play a lot, Tro? Like you're in your normal, like let's say sans coronavirus, but like
yeah.
with your teaching schedule, do you get out in the course at all?
Well, funny you should say that. So before I had my daughter, I was going out every day at 5 o'clock.
Oh,
So,
nice.
and I kind of ebbed and flows. Like there were seasons when I first started at Woodmont. So I'm, you know, building up my clientele and being available for people. I didn't play as often as I would have liked. You know, I'd hit balls every day. I still hit balls every day. But to actually get out and play for fun, I didn't make a priority of it. I made, you know, being available as a coach priority.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? Okay. I'm just going to cut this off at 5. Instead of teaching a 5 o'clock lesson, I'm going to go out and peg it up. And anyone can come if they want to, but I'm going to play fast. So you better play fast. And, you know, usually at 5 o'clock, it's like the teenagers are available because everybody else has stuff to do. So there were a few teenagers that I played with that I had a lot of fun with, just fun, a lot of laughs, played really fast. And I think that was like the routine of just going out every day is really, really healthy.
Yeah,
I think.
for sure. No, I definitely agree.
And then I had my daughter, and that kind of like put a little, put a shift on things for me.
Yeah.
And now I'm back at it. And now my husband and I would go and play. And I've got a group of girls that I play with on Monday afternoons. We just walk and play 9 holes. And they are like, they're like 30 handicaps. And we have so much fun. And I just want to play. I want to play every week with them. And we're just getting in this little routine. And then the COVID happened. But that was literally, it doesn't even matter. This is kind of the beauty of golf. It doesn't matter that there are 30 handicaps. It doesn't matter at all.
Yeah.
Everyone's having fun. Everyone's playing, playing fast, and you're just out there.
Yeah, no, it's so much fun. It's so much fun. I have a good group of friends in New York that I get to play with a good amount, like the Gruder Golf Girls. And, like they're not sticks by any means, but we have so much fun playing and they're so
Yeah.
passionate about the sport. I enjoy playing with them. Absolutely.
I think that's it. I think I would rather play with people that are really fun. I don't care how they are skill wise, than people that are really good that are boring.
Oh yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
So, like, hey, everybody, be fun and be fast.
Yes,
And
it's
then
all.
I want to play with you.
Yeah, and Tro will play with you if you're
And
fun as
I
that.
will
There you
play,
go.
and Hally will too.
Yes.
So, what is your favorite golf course right now?
Ooh, that's a good question. I would say my favorite golf course is probably, I love Sleepy Hollow. That place
Oh,
is
wait, I
so
used to
cool.
teach there.
Really?
Yes.
That's so fun. Oh my God, I loved it.
Wait a sec. Sleepy is, and wait, Alex, are you still on? Because I was telling Alexander, next time I'm in New York, I'm dragging her out to play. You want to come too?
Yeah, we'll have to bring Alex. That'd be so much fun. I don't know if she's played there. She might have.
No, she
Um,
hasn't. She hasn't.
oh,
I
she
talked to her.
hasn't.
No. So
Oh my
let's
God, that's
play.
awesome. Yes, we should get a group together. That'd be so much fun.
And who's going to be
Yeah.
our fourth?
Well, we'll have to think about that.
We'll have to
To,
think
to
about it.
be quite a
Maybe
foursome.
we'll put a raffle out on
Yeah, right. Sweepstakes.
sweepstakes.
I love
So
it.
Sleepy is incredible. So when I was working at Sleepy, quick story, I didn't mean to hijack your answer.
No.
But there was a member who discovered, so Sleepy Hollow is a C.B. McDonald golf course, and Tillinghast designed the like it's not even really a par three. It's like just the 9-hole. There are no par fours, but it's a short. We call it the short course. As if I'm still there. It's been like 15 years since I've been there. And so when I was there, a member had discovered these old photographs that were originals of the golf course, like C.B. McDonald era. And so they kind of were pulled out of this chest from her attic. And at the time, this man named George Botto, he's no longer alive, but he was an expert in C.B. McDonald. He actually wrote this book called The Evangelist of Golf, which is this fabulous coffee table book, these big pictures about C.B. McDonald. And
Cool.
so then the club is so brilliant. The members at Sleepy Hollow are brilliant. And they all said, maybe we ought to like think about making our golf course back like it originally was. Okay, who can help us? All right, let's get George. George, you're going to be in here. And let's get, how about this guy, Gil Hands? He seems good. So this is how I met Gil, because he was there and he was on the bulldozer, and I lived in the house behind the horse barn. So there's like this little whatever. This is amazing grounds. And so it was probably like the cobbler's house back in
Okay.
1800, and now it was a golfer's house. So I lived there, and just at like 5, 6, 7 at night after work, I would just watch this guy on a bulldozer push dirt, and he was awesome. And I already read Grounds for Golf, which he had done the illustrations for with, and that was Shackelford's book. And Grounds for Golf is an incredible book about different holes and why they were so good and the strategy behind them. So I was just enthralled that here was a designer actually on a dozer, looking at sight lines, kind of feeling what the shot might be like, and then also had the wherewithal to run the machinery.
Yeah,
So
that's crazy.
it was really cool. I was so proud of Sleepy for doing that, for like really doing it right and just being thorough and paying the bill and, taking care of sacred
awesome.
ground.
That's really, really cool.
So you played it recently, right? So you played it with that 16, the par three has the
yes. Yeah, I probably played it almost like a year ago now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so fun.
Very good.
It was beautiful. Yeah, I loved it. Would love to go back. Absolutely. Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, so that's that's probably one of your favorites recently. And then where have you played else in the world that you think would be good to go back?
Ooh, let's see. I played some golf when I was in high school. I played in China, which was quite an experience because I played night golf. So the entire course was lit up with floodlights. That was a crazy experience. I played a good amount of golf in the UK, with my dad being from there. So we spent a lot of times in the summers over there, playing a lot of golf in England, a lot of golf in Scotland. Um, where else? Played golf in Trinidad and Tobago. That was kind of a crazy experience. Had some iguana there to eat. That was nuts.
Ew.
Yeah.
What about China? Tell me about golf in China.
Yeah, golf in China is wild. Like it is just because so they don't have um a lot of land. Like there's just so many people in China. Like driving ranges are like in the middle of cities and they're like multi-layers. And that's actually one of the reasons why they like light up their golf courses is because they just like need tee times because like there aren't that many golf courses. So there's tee times all the time. so
Yeah.
so yeah, it was very different. You have to have a caddy. So we had like I had my caddy didn't speak English and I don't speak Chinese. So it just, it was, we didn't, I mean, she just kind of cleaned my club and that was that. All like female caddies as well, which was very different.
So you didn't
But
have you seen these golf carts that kind of hook on to a track and they just like these little things, these trolleys, they hook onto the track and so your cart is just going on its own by itself along. Have you seen those?
I have seen that, but I have not used one. But yes, I have seen it. It's crazy.
Crazy, right?
Yeah, yeah. No, golf in China is just I mean this was quite a while ago. But yeah, they love golf so much. Like so much. I actually would really really want to go to Korea because I believe like 70% of their golf is actually played on like simulators. They call it screen golf. So there's like competitive and professional
Tournaments.
simulators. Yeah, yeah. So and I play a lot. I probably wouldn't be able to compete with them, but I do play a lot of simulator golf now, living in New York.
Right.
So I think I can hold my own.
Now, there's Drive 495 and there's Golf and Body, and
Yeah.
there's a few more that have popped up, right?
Yeah, so the one that I go to mostly, I've not been to Drive 495. I've been to Golf and Body. It's very, very cool. I love it there. The people there are great. Um, 5 Iron Golf is the one that I go to most of the time, which I would say if Golf and Body is like a upscale country club feel, then I'd say 5 Iron is more also upscale, but more of like a top golfy feel.
Right.
So it's like music's blasting. There's like graffiti on the walls. There's ping pong. There's
Right.
like golden tea and the like wings and drinks and much more like that, more of a feel.
Yeah.
But it's just a different feel, but also great. So
And
I
there's
go there a lot. I go there
I've
an embarrassing
always
amount.
thought, I used to live in Manhattan. I always thought there was an opportunity that was missed by not using roofs. Like,
Yeah, that's a
like,
great point. Yeah,
and I
I
don't
didn't even think
know
about that.
what the spaces are licensed like or what the rules are about rooftops, but I,
Yeah, I mean, you could
you
put like
know,
a hitting bay up there, or like a
right?
net or something.
Some nets. You could just net the whole thing and
Yeah,
then, right?
yeah, no, for sure, like a little driving range, absolutely.
The Chelsea Piers figured that out.
Yes, I like Chelsea Piers too. Chelsea Piers is really fun. Definitely
Yeah.
have to go there. Like it's a really cool space.
So do you think you're going to stay in the city for a long time?
Ooh, that's a good question. So I think I'll be there for like the foreseeable future. Yes. That's like where my work is, and it's just such a cool place. I I actually have to go. That's one of the reasons I have to go back like in June is because I'm moving apartments. I'm going to move from the West Village to the East Village. So I'm like texting with realtors trying to figure out like, at least maybe you can just send me some pictures. I don't even know if I'm going to see a place before I decide on it. Um, but yeah, no, I love New York. It's been really great. I feel like for me personally, just because I've sort of grown up in this golf bubble, which like I love the golf industry and I love the golf world, but it's really nice to like walk outside and sort of like be checked a little bit as far as like what real problems are and like real world issues. And just like also there's just so many different people and things, and it's funny to walk outside you know, or be at a party and have people be like, oh, what do you do? And I'm like, oh, I work for like a golf media company. And they're
Yeah.
like, how'd you get into that? You know? So it's
Yeah.
like, I'm like, oh, long story. So yeah.
Yes. Someone just, that's, I like that. Gosh, that's, I like that you're also in the mix of a lot of energy. And
Yes, a
you
lot
know,
of energy. Yes,
you're
agree.
single and you're young, and it's just an amazing time to be in a place where you can just, you can go anywhere and you can do anything, and you can see so many
Yeah,
people right now, and you don't,
so many
you know,
people.
it's
Yeah,
really,
so many
really
people. Yeah, you don't need much sleep. You just kind of like live off the energy for sure.
right. Someone just said, can we talk about how great Hally's skin is?
Thank you, Jake. Should publish tips on that. That'd be actually pretty funny. I should do like a mock
That's
skin tip.
funny.
No, honestly, side note, the reason my skin is actually a lot better. I went on some medication called spironolactone, which you have to go to a dermatologist to get. But yeah, I just had like I just had like a lot of like hormonal acne problems, not like horrible, but like to the point where like when it's that time of the month, like I was like, good luck, like there's no there's no stopping this, like no matter what face wash I use. So yeah, so I just went on this stuff and now my skin's like never been better. So it's really great.
It kind of goes to show, and this is not like a dermatological dermatological show, but it just goes to show, like Caitlin said, your bologna video. Okay, it just goes to show, it's like what you eat, what you put inside, you know, your chemistry has a lot to do with it. It's not the topical
Oh
stuff.
my God. Honestly, that's been a trail. Like it's been crazy because wait, I have them right here. Like, so I take like
Starting
two of
into
you.
an infomercial.
It says, yeah, welcome to Skin 101 with Trill and Hally. No, but I take, I mean, obviously you can't, I'm not even worried about this because people can't even get this without going to the dermatologist. But yeah, I take like, this is how big this, like it's a little baby pill. I take one of these in the morning, one of these at night. And it has made me think about like the things that I eat. Like if this can like clear up all of my acne, like this amount, imagine what like food does to you, you know? Like
Yeah.
actual, you know, like I mean,
Yeah.
and I try not to eat like a lot of dairy or gluten or anything like that either, but that's actually a lot easier living here with my parents. Not in New York with pizza.
Yeah. Are we getting a cameo from your dad? So
Where is
how
he?
long
He
did you
was
take that?
downstairs.
How long do you have to take the pill?
Oh, that's actually a great question because my friend asked me the other day, oh, so like how long are you gonna be on this? And I'm like, well, I think until I want to have kids because I can't get pregnant on this. It would not be good. So you have to take like birth control. Yeah, you have to take birth control to also be on this because it like messes with your hormones. So yeah,
okay, I don't like it anymore. This is a lot.
Well, that's actually a question that I have for my dermatologist because I was like, so if I get off of this, does that mean I'm gonna have bad skin when I'm pregnant? Because I don't want that either. So yeah, some issues that I have still to work out. But I have a lot of friends that have been on the same exact thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, I did Accutane when I was in early 20s. Accutane. I don't even think you're allowed. I think Accutane like taken off the market or something. But it's like a one and done. You do it.
No, I have some friends that take an Accutane too, and it like made them nuts. But they're like almost like they're like, oh, I got it. Still do it again though because I never get pimples.
Same. It made my skin amazing. Look at we've lost like half of our audience.
Yeah, everyone's like, okay.
They're like,
well, no, seriously, skin, especially when it comes to golf, like skin protection or skin care, but skin protection in general, spending so much time in the sun. I mean, I wear those big visors. Like I've had 2 skin cancer spots removed already. And like you look at my hands, like you can't really see it, but like this one has a ton of freckles and this one doesn't. So yeah, you know, like my dad wears like only long sleeve shirts when he teaches. I only wear long sleeve shirts when I play now mostly. So no, definitely important.
So all right, next time I talk to you, we're going to talk about skin protection because
okay, yeah,
we'll do
skin protection
coming down the pipe. I've got a project I'm working on coming down the pike, and it has to do with sun protection, skin protection.
Great,
and
awesome,
and style.
Yes, love that. Can't wait.
So Hally, I know we're gonna run out of time, so I don't want to get cut off. So I'm gonna end this. But it was really fun catching up with you.
And you, Trill, always a blast. I can't wait to hang out again in person.
Yes, yes. So thanks for taking the time, and
Of
we'll
course.
again.
Absolutely. Okay, you have a great rest of your weekend. I'll talk to you soon.
You too. Stay safe. Bye.
Okay, bye. Bye.